Hello everybody, this is Tirgaya, and I'm here with some important Destiny 2 news. We are beyond dedicated servers. Bungie has talked to us in This Week at Bungie, and I'm going to put that up on screen right now for you. And what they're talking about is the technology that's inside Destiny 2 and why they're not using dedicated servers. I want to unpack some of this for you, but before I get into it too much, I want to give you the TLDR, which is Bungie is trying to build a more advanced infrastructure for how networked games work. And they're using some pretty interesting advanced technologies in order to help them do that. So, in a sense, dedicated servers are the old technology solution, and they have a newer technology, a more advanced technology that they think is going to serve them better for the wide variety of Destiny 2 activities. For most of you, that's it. You guys can find me on Twitch and on Twitter, and I thank you for watching. But for the rest of you, I'm going to dig into this a little bit more and try to unpack some of these technology words they're using. So let's go. I'm going to put the link for the This Week at Bungie in the text below and in the comments, but I hope you'll hang out with me because I'm going to try to read some of the stuff and then unpack what they're saying for you. All right, let's go. Now, most of this comes from a guy named Matt Seeger, who's the engineering lead on Destiny 2. Here's what he says. Matt, we've seen a lot of people asking about the networking model works for Destiny 2. Many are concerned by our announcement last week that Destiny 2 doesn't have dedicated servers. While that's useful shorthand, the full answer is more complex because Destiny has a unique networking model. Rest assured that we're doing a lot of testing right now with players all around the world and working hard to make sure that your experience is going to be smooth on launch day. So, why no dedicated servers? Every activity in Destiny 2 is hosted by one of our servers. That means they have dedicated servers, sort of. And what he goes on to say is, that means you will never again suffer a host migration during your raid attempt or trials match. What's a host migration? That's when Destiny detects that the connection quality has changed and the person who you started with the host in your raid, for example, no longer has the best connection, and so they shift in the middle of your gameplay to a different player, a different console. So what he has to say is, this differs from Destiny 1, where these hosting duties were performed by player consoles and only script and mission logic ran in the data center. To understand the foundation on which we're building, check out this Destiny 1 presentation from GDC. Using the terms from the talk at GDC, then in Destiny 2, both the mission host and physics host will run in our data centers. Now, the mission host is what he just referred to in Destiny 1. The script and mission logic is running in the data center. Whereas in Destiny 1 right now, the physics host is running on a player console. Now, what does the physics host do? This is the part of the system that figures out if your bullets hit the target. If the player you threw a grenade at takes damage, are they burning? How much direct damage did they take? Were they close enough? Were they too far? That kind of a thing. And so that part is moving, as he says, in our data centers. He's going to switch that up a little bit in an important way. We'll come back to that. So we do have dedicated servers. We don't use that term because in the gaming community, dedicated servers refers to pure client-server networking models. This is what he's saying here, is that the client-server networking model that is assumed by the phrase dedicating servers isn't true for Destiny. He goes on, Destiny 2 uses a hybrid of client-server and peer-to-peer technology, just like Destiny 1. The server is authoritative over how the game progresses, and each player is authoritative over their own movement and abilities. This allows us to give players the feeling of immediacy in all their moving and shooting, no matter where they live and no matter whom they choose to play with. Okay. When you combine this with his previous statement, we start to get a picture of what's going on. In Destiny 2, they're still using hybrid client-server and peer-to-peer simultaneously, just like Destiny 1. However, they've shifted the workload. They've brought more of the workload of hosting the game onto their servers, but they're still keeping parts of it on your console or on your PC. And how they're splitting that work should make the game feel more like you're on a dedicated server, but also help them keep costs down and give you a sort of immediacy of being able to start a game and have a good experience because you're sharing some of that load amongst consoles or PCs. Why peer-to-peer? Are we trying to save money? Matt, nope. We've invested heavily in new server infrastructure for Destiny 2, including using cloud servers for gameplay for the first time. Now, if you're an IT person, this is probably ringing off in your head. Using cloud servers is kind of the big buzzword in corporate IT right now. And the idea is, instead of having a small pool of dedicated servers, say 100 server computers or 1,000 or whatever the number is, what you do is you go to a company like Google or IBM or Amazon that has tens of thousands of servers worldwide. And you rent some time on that group of servers to run your software. And in doing this, because, like for example, a Google server is, if all it did all day was run Google, it'd be mostly doing nothing. But they have to have hundreds of thousands of them, actually, in Google's case, in order to handle everyone's requests, just because of network bandwidth and stuff. So why not ask them to do a little bit of work for Destiny, or to do a little bit of work for the search for extraterrestrial intelligence or whatever? That's what the cloud server idea is, basically. It's kind of a virtual supercomputer. So he goes on to say, we really believe this is the best model for all of Destiny 2's varied cooperative and competitive experiences. Engineering will always involve trade-offs and cost-benefit analysis, but as a team, we've got no regrets about the unique technology we've built for Destiny 2. Now, this is something that I think a lot of players aren't understanding. Bungie is not building you dedicated servers, because that refers to what we should all actually consider as an outdated technology. Instead, they're giving us this hybrid client-server and peer-to-peer technology. At the same time, you're peer-to-peer and, which is what we all think Destiny is all the time. It's not. There's actually a piece of it that runs on dedicated servers. And with Destiny 2, we're still peer-to-peer, but we're also still using dedicated servers, if you will. And we're using both at the same time. And one of the things that should excite the community is they're moving more of the workload to these dedicated servers. Now, dedicated servers is a really bad word because it's not dedicated, because some of these servers that they're using are those cloud servers. And those cloud servers could be anywhere in the world. If they're renting time from arguably, say, Microsoft has thousands and thousands of servers all over the world for people to use for cloud applications. And that means that instead of having a bunch of dedicated servers at Bungie headquarters in Washington State in the United States, You're going to have Bungie servers in Sydney, in Berlin, in Tokyo, in Washington, D.C., in New York City, in Ottawa, in Mexico City, all around the globe. You're going to have Destiny servers. And that's going to change dynamically based on who's playing the game. So, will it work? I don't know. But they are trying to advance the technology. As a matter of fact, they make that point. They are gearing up for the beta. The beta date is a big deal for them because they need us to test, to play Destiny 2 and to test globally this hybrid networking model that they're building. So they go on to talk a little bit about the security problems that might come out with the PC. They don't really give us a lot of information here, just saying that they've got some, well, I'm just going to say they've got some tricks up their sleeves to catch people who are cheating on PC. Does this mean I'll never see a player warp around the map and shoot me through a wall again? Of course not. Even if they have dedicated servers, it wouldn't prevent that. Even if we were all sitting on a LAN somehow, it wouldn't prevent having some kind of lag issues. At some point, even if you're on a LAN, you run into what we call Ethernet collisions, and there are all sorts of little problems with just the physical topology of a network that will cause lag. There's really no way to completely eliminate it, so don't think that any technology will eliminate it. So what can we expect at launch? We have a beta coming up, and like I said before, this is the key time. We need to get on there, we need to play it, and we need to talk to Bungie. So right now, if nothing else, maybe you're still undecided about Destiny 2, but I think that you should be really excited about the Destiny beta. I know I am. Now, that is really going to do it for me, Guardians. I hope that I've helped unpack some of this and give you some insight and information that maybe you couldn't pull out of there for yourself. I encourage you to take a look at that Game Developers Conference footage, and also to watch this video a few times and see if you can get what I'm talking about. Please get at me in the comments. More than any other video I've ever done, get at me in the comments, because I'm going to be excited about answering your questions. All right, that's enough from me. Thank you for hanging out for this super long video. Lots of talking, lots of reading. If you've made it to the end, you're the real hero, Guardians. And I will see you Starside.